The late sitcom star Matthew Perry certainly had a story to tell about Kids Baking Championship co-host Valerie Bertinelli. And it was apparently no tall tale. Here's the shocking claim the Friends star made in his tell-all memoir. In Friends, Lovers, and The Big Terrible Thing, Perry discussed the TV show that made him a star, as well as his issues with substance addiction, his 2018 near-death experience from opioid abuse, and, of course, all of the typical juicy Hollywood moments that sell any showbiz memoir. For example, Perry claimed that he once made out with fellow actor Valerie Bertinelli. The kicker was that she was not only married to Eddie Van Halen at the time, but the legendary rock guitarist was actually in the same room when it happened.
Dear God, this parachute is a knapsack!
The incident allegedly occurred back in 1990 when Bertinelli and Perry briefly shared the screen in the short-lived Private Eye sitcom Sydney. One night, while Perry was hanging out with Bertinelli and Van Halen at the couple's home, Van Halen passed out after drinking too much. Even though Bertinelli's spouse was right there, Perry started smooching the woman for whom he'd been harboring a secret crush. While Perry said he confessed to having feelings for her and that she claimed to reciprocate them in the heat of the moment, the next day he found himself firmly back in the friend zone. When the news about Perry's memoir broke, the Food Network host chose to step up and address the issue via TikTok. The video shows Bertinelli waving at the camera and then literally face-palming under the text, "Anyone misbehave in their 20s and early 30s? Are you mortified?" The background music she chose, appropriately enough, was the Taylor Swift song Antihero. Bertinelli's video made her confession seem like the kind of thing almost anyone could relate to, and from the comments, it was obvious that her fans felt the same. Many of the reactions on both the TikTok video and its repost on Instagram seemed to come from women in a similar age demographic, women who apparently had their own bad girl moments in a bygone era. But what did the same fans think about Perry's confession? Well, while some commenters felt that the Friends star's kiss and tell had been classless, others admitted to having sympathy for Perry. That's because, they said, they too once had, or have, a bit of a crush on Bertinelli. One person who'd actually read Perry's memoir commented on Bertinelli's Instagram post that Perry had said lovely things about his former co-star and crush. Actually, according to Perry himself, the feelings he had for Bertinelli went far beyond a simple crush. In Friends, Lovers, and The Big Terrible Thing, Perry revealed that he was completely captivated with his co-star and dreamed of the day she'd leave her husband for him. He admits that he was just 19 at the time, nowhere near the star that Van Halen was, and nowhere near the star that he himself would become in just a few years.
I trust him implicitly. I mean, and I can't not. If I don't, then we have nothing.
Still, Perry wrote that he'd noticed that their marriage was clearly troubled. He couldn't have been too far off either, because Van Halen and Bertinelli finally separated in 2001. In the wake of his stolen kiss, Perry felt that his wishes had all come true. But the next day, things were back to business, and she never again acknowledged their special moment. Perry described himself as devastated, but admits that he did not blame Bertinelli, either back then or at the time of writing. In fact, he also explained that he'd long had an attraction to unavailable women based on a difficult relationship with his mother. Bertinelli, in turn, seems to harbor no grudge against Perry for going public with his 3-decade-old crush. In an Instagram story she released after his untimely passing, she eulogized him with the words, "Rest in peace, sweet man."